Hello everyone, this is Cookies, and I've got turn 34, so let's go ahead and dive in. Got a message from Tianchi. It's time to see some cool battles. Alright, here we go. Finally. So, looks like he took a fight in Kedra, so this might be it. Okay. He's gonna try to solo this whole stack. Alright, so luck is potentially going to be pretty important here against Gifts from Heaven. We've got this Celestial Master. This is really cool national armor that TNG gets. +1 MR, some hit points, some resists for 4 gems. Which, the hammer, and I forget if they have a mage with a 1 discount. I mean, you can't get it below 1 in each, I believe, but with a hammer, it's very cheap. And we got a Ring of Regen. We've got some luck. And we've got a Storm Spool. So I think he's got everything he needs to try and enough hit points to survive a meteor. So let's see how it goes. The man mages have hit literally everything except the cat. Okay, so we're back here now. We've got Ralph the Lord Warden. That guy's left with 2 HP. Yeah. Now that we've gone through most of the fatigue, I think the cat may have this. I will say man's been pretty unlucky this game with the evocations. This cat's just on a mission, just going straight for commanders. Picks the mage out of that whole squad. What's their precision? 10? Could have fooled me. He hasn't even had to use his regen yet. Good grief. Taking a look at the battlefield for all of the misses that man's poor mages did. Gifts from Heaven really letting him down this game. Alright. So what's the damage? 4 Magister's Arcane, bunch of Tower Guard. You know, it's bad, but it's not irrecoverable if he doesn't get invaded. So, sorry, I was getting some water. Alright. So I think this is probably 2 turns worth of production. Alright. So, yeah, I mean, this worked out for Tianqi. I wonder if he paired it up with any other attacks. Looks like attacks on Calum. Alright, so Atlantis attacks Raka. One PD. I don't think we need to watch that. And then Kunaral. Man continuing to try and retake his former territories. Then Agartha attacking Flemistan. Okay. And then Agartha attacking Agartha. Look, I think he was trying to ping the army. So, not a bad idea. We've got some more Iron Corpses. This time led by the Dracolich and a Necromancer, so maybe they won't dissolve this time. And we've got 3 priests and an unsleeping. Looks like the priests are not scripted to run away, so I think they're just going to all be toast. Alright. Where was that? That was here. He left all that on Agartha's cap? That seems like a mistake. Alright, and Hipperboach. Dodged again. Alright. Man attacking Kedra. Got a bishop who's gonna run into the cat. Oh, but gets away. I'm kind of curious if he just routes right away, or he's scripted to retreat. Yeah. And then we've got the Weald. Got an Icthid commander pinging a throne. This is a monolith throne, so we've got some watchers. So if you attack this, you have to worry about the Watchers, and they're 28 attack, 20 damage lightnings. They've absolutely sniped the shit out of my Machaka before. Then you have to worry about the Monolith. It might drop big spells, so we might see Big Earth or Big Astral. It's kind of rare to see the AI do it, but sometimes it will with paths like this and this many gems. And then the third thing you need to worry about are the Chithronic Lions. They've got 25 protection versus mundane, and they're pretty killy, and they have a fair number of hit points. So ideally you bring magic weapons and reasonably hard-hitting ones. And it can also end up helping with the Watchers and the Monolith. Alright, and let's see. So that was here. Then we've got Calum attacking Tianchi. Down here in the cave. And then we've got Tianchi launching... Wait, no. First we have Marignon killing some barbarians. Alright. And now we have 4 attacks by Tianchi. So we have some stuff moving through the caves. Looks like a couple of Zots with Shade Beast. Okay. Let's see. So that was this one. This is 2 Shade Beasts. Then another attack over here. We've got the Kagan raiding out on his own. He's got legendary cruelty now, so he's got a fear aura to go with his regen and quickness and luck and resist. Yeah, pretty cool. Charcoal shield, so fire shield effect. I would like to see these items give different bonuses at some point. I guess they are slightly different. This one's inspirational. This one's awe. They all kind of give luck, quickness, and I think a little bit, yeah, luck and quickness. This one also gives spirit sight. This one gives a little bit of regen. So I guess they're different enough. He might HP route himself. Yeah. Alright, so he's strong enough, he was able to get away. Okay, so that was here. Then in Toledo. Got a bunch of Barb Heavy Horse. Doing what Barb Heavy Horse do. Alright, we have a couple of mages. It looks like they're raiding, but they're also twice born. So it's not a big deal if they die. They are size 4 now. So if we take a look at the buffs, Temper Flesh and Large, they're both reasonably high fatigue. And it might be partially from this armor and old age. This guy's got 3 encumbrance, +1 from old age. So yeah, up to 10. What did this guy cast? Earth Power, Horde of Skeletons, Stone Skin. Alright. Well, they were both twice spawned, so not a big deal. Okay. So, pretty quiet turn. Aside from I guess our third man army getting dismantled by a third player. He's really been a little unfortunate that his wars can keep ping-ponging between different players. Alright, so those losses were probably 1, 2, depending on the turn cycle for the major recruitment and man. All of his forts and whatnot, he probably could have replaced those losses probably represent 1 turn of production. Maybe 1 and a little bit more. But, I mean, there's a lot of TNG stuff on the way. A lot of corpse constructs. That said, though, there's not a lot of TNG stuff up on this northern border. And there's a lot of Calum stuff. So we have a very strong southern defense. But the northern defense is looking pretty suspect. Alright. Which is unfortunate for man, because it means he's probably going to get walloped. Even as TNG potentially dies. That is a lot of Marignan troops on the border. Now, they could be blood hunting. They are all blood hunting. But it is very conveniently positioned to where he could turn off that blood hunting and invade Calum. If Calum starts running away with it by overrunning TNG. So I have to wonder if Marignan will let TNG die like this. I do think this fight is very advantaged to Calum at the moment. We've got a lot of Draconians. We've got Raven Guard elfing squads. Additionally, we've got more down here. Like, Calum's ready to go. In terms of counter raid squads, I mean, these 3 groups can all attack. This group could potentially attack. He's got an army here. So it's not like TNG doesn't have anything. It's just, I don't think corpse constructs are going to do a great job here. I think if he can catch maybe 4 of these Raven Guard groups and kill them, I think that would free up enough pressure on his interior to maybe where he can think about pushing. But the main Calum army is in Vale of Valor. And if it goes in the swamp, which he probably has supplies for his army here, then he could try pushing straight on the throne. I have a feeling, though, that the cat might go here, and the army might go here, or the cat might pull back to get a new point buffer. Maybe it'll defend the throne. But I do think the cat might attack, and this army might go here. This army might move onto the throne. And then, if that's the case, maybe this group just defends. And then maybe this group comes up behind, patrols the forest. You have a group from the cap here, maybe they patrol here, and you see how many Calum squads you can raid. But then, what do you do against all this? These two forts are both empty. And the Calum will crack these very quickly. This fort at least has a garrison, so he can try to hold out. But it seems like everything TNG has is headed south. Whereas Calum has done a reasonable split, and he's gotten man over on his side. And so this is 3 caps against 2. And we really didn't see TNG turn on the recruiting in a big way. I'm not seeing like Barb Heavy Horse scattered around. So maybe there's enough forts he was able to recruit and spend all of his money from just forts. Maybe he's prioritizing mage recruitment. But I think in this sort of situation, you might just want a ton of troops. You want lances for birds. Okay. Well, I'm concerned about TNG's north. He might win 1 or 2 raids up here, but I could also see him losing this group. I could see the birds kind of just going around it. Got militia. Oh, he lost a province to militia too. Oh, here's the underground, by the way. So here's the TNG pressure in Calum's underground. Here's Calum's pressure in TNG's underground. So that was, it was here to here and here to here. Oh, here to here, I guess. Okay. And here to here. So they're gonna, it's gonna be a whole new front. I mean, the cat is a big deal. It can definitely bounce around. It can, depending on where it goes, it can probably kill a raiding party. And maybe a small army again, like we saw it do against man, maybe every turn. It's going to have to stay pretty active. Calum did mention new magic coming online for his Draconians. I don't know that the Draconians would be strong enough to take on the cat. Earthbound might be, though, because they've got that Death Weapons Bless. Although it's still, I don't know completely about that. Yeah, I mean, that's reasonably high damage. Yeah, they might be able to do it because it's also a magic attack. All right. So then, yeah, so the Earthbound can kill the cat, I think. And then I don't. Kaka might be able to rigor mortis it too. I think man needs Soul Slay because I think it's pretty clear that his gifts from heaven is just not wanting to hit what he points it at this game. And I don't think the cat had ridiculous MR. Yeah, it's rolling with 18 MR. That's pretty soul slayable. Okay. Yeah, we'll have to see. I'm thinking Calum's gonna absolutely roll a good portion of this, but we'll lose a few Raven Guard squads, and then I'm curious where we go from there. Alright. And then we'll have to see if Marignon does something. Because, I mean, he's got a large army on man's border. This is not blood hunting. He's also got the virtue. So Marignon might vulture man. Got even more troops here. Yeah, this might just be the round robin that puts man out of the game. Alright. And oh, and they'll storm Statis this turn, I guess, as well. Okay. Marignon's also thinking about this throne. He did ping it. He's got stuff down here. So devils would be particularly well suited for killing and being killed by Chithronic lions. Stray wild, okay. So yeah, I think a big X factor in this war is what Marignon does. They are the free agent. When it comes to Atlantis and Agartha, so Agartha trying to pick a fight. Let's see, because where was Atlantis last turn? I think they were here, weren't they? Yeah, so he stayed and patrolled, which is interesting. I thought he had troops here. Did they go over here? Interesting. Okay. So he stayed and patrolled. Agartha, trying to guess where Atlantis would run to, went to here, which also allows him to defend both forts. He's got a second army here. So he's picked up sepulchrals. He's probably got necromancers in here, so I think Agartha's just got 2 armies now. Atlantis brings a great sage. That sounds like his pretender, so I think Atlantis is almost all in. Aside from the research mages and some smaller parties running around. And let's see, we're in, is it just winter? Okay. So taking the fight here in winter would probably be ideal for Atlantis. At least he'll have his ice protection. And if he's got a research counter to what Agartha's doing, then probably time to pull that out. Ravenous Swarm could be a really interesting way to deal with this Rigor Mortis play. because it would kill all the undead. But we haven't heard or seen any indication about where Atlantis' research is at. So we'll have to kind of wait and see. Maybe Howl would help. There's a few different things that could help. But killing a sepulchral is pretty tough. Especially when they're point buffed like this and they're working under rigor mortis, whereas your troops are falling asleep. But Atlantis is still way up in the rating game. So I think if Atlantis loses this, they got maybe one or two more chances, because Agartha will have to siege forts and try to take them. If Atlantis wins this, I could see them very quickly putting Agarthan forts under siege, but Agartha does have one more army waiting in the wings. Unfortunately, because of Atlantis' rating, Atlantis knows about this army. Where is Agartha on Dominion? I am a little bit concerned. Only one candle in the ovens, even with the temple. Okay, we've got 5 candles still there, but the candles are getting really low. 5 candles there too. 5 there, 1 here. Cradle of Faith, pumping Dominion. 4 candles. Oh, that's Atlantis. 4 candles. Down to 2 candles. I mean, if Atlantis wins a really big battle and they get dedicated preaching going, they could dom kill Agartha, which makes the misscripting of these priests pretty bad, because they had a lot of places they could have run to, at least these 3. Okay. So we've got 2 conflicts. The continuing Agartha-Atlantis conflict. We've got Tianchi slaughtering Man with his cat, but then Kalem's about to come in to help Man. And the big question is, what does Marignon do? As they continue to scale up their blood economy, they might be, I think they might be the only big blood power left in the game. So it's interesting that they're going to be heading into the mid-game being left alone. So, because Agartha is more summons and undead, and Atlantis is not a big blood power. Tianchi is not a big blood power. Kalem's not a big blood power. So in LA, there's a lot of blood powers, but the only one left in this game is Marignon, and they're getting a free pass to scale in the mid-game. Or at least in the early mid-game, as I think of it. I kind of think of it by the research. So we've seen 6s come out. I kind of view that as the early mid-game. When 8s start rolling out, I think of that as the early late game, but I think other people might think of it differently, but that's how I view it. And then 9s rolling out is when I start to think of it as the proper late game. But yeah, I mean, Marignon's doing a lot of blood hunting. We can't really see how productive it's been, but I imagine it's been pretty productive. These Bloodhinged Druids are absolutely insane. I expect next turn he'll storm Satis. I don't know that we'll see him try to take the Throne of Earth next turn, but he might. Or he might just start thinking about you know, maybe there's a way to get the virtue to do it. But yeah, once he gets a second capital going, he'll join the 2-cap club, which is, I guess, just him and Tianqi. And then we've still got Pyrene. Pyrene is cracked. We could see Calum try to storm Pyrene. If the Draconians get buffed enough, maybe they can kill the Cambion Knights. But the Cambion Knights are pretty tough. So if they don't get the proper buffs, Cambion Knights might just kill a lot of the Draconians. But with Pyrene and Nilmeria, Calum's going to have a fair amount of production down here. Maybe not enough to stop this sustained push, but he's got his main army down here as well to help with that. He's also got reinforcements from this throne. And then could be getting, you know, making a lot of progress over here. I could certainly see him trying to crack Gold Mountains and take Gold Mountains. It's far enough away from the cat that unless the cat is beelining it, and even if it does, it might not make it. Especially if Raven Guard come in here and start, you know, trying to put forts under siege and trying to cut movement. Like, we could see, this is 21 PD, but he might not know it. We could see this group go here, this group go here, if it can reach. Or these barbs, and this might go here, and this goes here. And then this group might try to move on this fort, although we've got some barb heavy horse. So he might just try to isolate this throne. So maybe he'll go to Forest of Gila, have this group come here, send all these Draconians onto Gold Mountains, try to siege it, crack it, storm it, and then he can start pushing forward from there. He's got some more Earthbound down here. Those might start rolling towards Coast Haven, but the cat can't be everywhere, and right now it's kind of in a corner, holding the line against man, along with most of the army. So he's kind of keeping everything in a tight ball. But I'm worried Calum's going to raid him to death. We'll see if this army disperses to counter raid, or if it plans on patrolling here, or if it's going to sit inside the fort. I do think it's important for Tianqi to catch a lot of these raiders. You want to kill a lot of them. One, so they lose a lot of their siege strength and they can't cut your income as much. But also just to try and maintain control over provinces so that you can keep recruiting your own stuff. So we'll see if we get a really active defense from Tianqi. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to next turn and seeing how this works out. And then I'm also looking forward to seeing if we get a big battle between Agartha and Atlantis. Where now I'm wondering if Atlantis doesn't seem to be wanting to run. They've got their pretender here. So I'm a little bit curious if Agartha walks into this army, or if this and maybe this army moves on to Bountiful Land, but yeah, I think it's reasonable. You can just, if Agartha's looking for a fight, you can just keep patrolling here. And maybe you can get Agartha to come to you. And if you win the big fight, you can move on to all the forts. But if he does try to move on to Bountiful Land and Agartha predicts it, we could see a super stacked Agartha versus Atlantis fight, which would be the best entertainment, at least for me. But yeah, I think other than that, Next turn should be a lot more entertaining. We should have the Storming of Pyrene. Satis will finally be put out of his misery. We'll have potentially a big fight here. We'll have the Calum Tianchi war really heating up. And potentially Marignon Vulturing Man. So it should be a lot of fun. Hope you guys will join me, and I will see you guys in the next one. Have a good one. Bye.